Correct.
Amanda, but close enough.
Amanda, the woman to her right, your name is
Adriana.
Oh, this should be
Adriana, and then woman to your left,
Janina.
Janina.
This is
Okay, one of the things I kept hearing. My name
Hold
is
on, this is the Fresh and Fit After Hours. I'm just gonna let. I'm not trying to block the logo. It just so happens my logo's in the same spot, so I just want to at least bring light to that, and at least so they don't think I'm trying to get over on their stuff. I just had this on my watch later list, which I don't know why. I'm probably interested in the conversation. Let's check it out. Kevin Samuels recently passed away, which is crazy. I didn't know that he had any issues or whatnot, but maybe it was stress. He just stressing himself out on trying to change women or change people's perspectives on things. Like, hey man, I think he had a lot of interesting things to say. I don't agree or disagree with him. There's points I can agree with. I can see where he's coming from. There's other points that he was just being himself, and was sparking conversations around a lot of females, which he was being sometimes disrespectful, mostly to me, but he was purposely disrespectful because he was making points to the disrespect that men possibly received. I don't know. I'm not going to comment on like my perspective on this, but I will comment as they have this conversation, so you can kind of see where I'm coming from. Maybe I don't.
Miss Kevin
condone,
Samuels,
like,
by the way. Nice to meet you.
I won't condone the disrespectful remarks, but what's disrespectful is also subjective. If you're just hearing some things that you don't want to hear, that's not disrespect. If you're calling somebody names and whatnot, but what are we doing? Obviously, normal people know where the lines are, but let's go.
One of the things I kept hearing is the notion of fairness. Why is that so important to you, Amanda?
I hate to admit it, but I do. Like, I'm half a man. I'm just a pretty girl. And I don't think that I should have to accept less in life because I was born with different equipment. I think that's bullshit.
Well, if you're half a man, then you should understand this full concept that men don't care about fair.
I don't
That's
have to
not
care
true.
about fair.
That's
either.
not true.
No.
That's not
Men
true.
don't care about fair, or else we wouldn't conquer other people.
That's not all right. Look, he's going on general assumptions that like this is the kind of help that is toxic. It's this guy's coming from a complete perspective. I haven't even heard what he's gonna say, and I can assume. I'm not even assuming. I think I've heard him speak like this before. Is that men don't? He's making these general assumptions. Men don't care about this. Generally, possibly, but of course, yeah. You know what though? I've gotten into many altercations with my friends or other men where I'm like, "Yo, that's not fair," and they're like, "Fair." But we're playing basketball, and I'm like, I mean, like fair in the rules, fair. You know what I mean? Like, there's unspoken rules in relationships in men and women, but at the same time, we have studies and data that say men do this, women do that. He's right. Where I think men think more linear and women think more, what's the opposite of linear? Is more emotions based is how I feel. But like, I can get in my emotions sometimes, and I can think men get in their emotions, whether it be anger or whatever. They just don't let more of the softer emotions get to them, which is whatever. That's just, I think men lack in that way, and women lack the linear. Here I am speaking in generals, but yeah, it's hard for me sometimes to have conversations with female or women that are thinking about it in, well, I just feel like, versus, and what makes logical sense is this an effective efficiency, but then it's a balance of that, because you don't want to be uncomfortable just because you're making a smart decision, right? So anyway, I want to hear what he has to say. Excuse me for interrupting.
People.
Yeah, that was his
You're of
comment.
European descent. Looks like you're from. Your people are from the Caucasus Mountains. European descent. So
I
the
am.
most early, huh?
I am very white, yes.
That's fine. And some of them. And
Objection, irrelevant. No, he probably has a point. He's about to make.
there's a lot, and between a lot of warring tribes, Germania, the Franks. If we cared about fairness, we would just let everybody stay on their land. Vikings wouldn't have raided and pillaged. England would have stayed on its island. Scotland.
She's just got that face on. Like, look at, like, oh, is that what you're saying? Like, she looks like she's kind of like strong, confident. She's pretty, right? But she looks like she's just a smug towards this man's attitude, which is his attitude is basically like he's kind of like putting her, he feels, back in her place. Like, hey, why don't you just relax with this fairness thing? Because men have been, especially white men, have been tearing down society and conquering things for ages. I see his point to that, but the fact that that exists doesn't make it that men don't believe in fairness. We just have history, that data would suggest that men don't believe in fairness, but I think men just believe more in like linear, like what was the law? Okay, we follow the law, right? Versus what we think is right, and that's more of emotion in our heart. And a lot of men I know are sensitive to that too. They don't just believe in like what wins is by law, what loses is, I don't know. That's the linear thinking that I don't necessarily agree with. I do believe in fairness. It matters to me. It certainly does, especially playing by the rules in fairness, right? So there's fairness in like, I'm not just gonna push somebody down in basketball because it's legal, but I believe in playing by the rules.
Ireland would have been all right. Ireland would have been all right. Matter of fact, Hong Kong wouldn't have been a British protectorate for how many years? Oh, until the last, 30 or 40?
He's so snarky.
Men don't care about fair. We conquer. It's winners and losers.
What a general assumption. And the dudes
Right?
on the
You're half of
podcast,
me.
like, dudes on the podcast, like, straight up, dude, like, for real, that's how it is. You tell him, Kevin. Bro, it ain't like that, man. I wish I would want to be a part of this kind of conversation with some men that I know that are not so just linear thinking to where, like, men don't care about fairness. You right, dude. That's right. We don't care about no fairness at all. Get over here so I can punch you in the face.
I didn't know that only men were part of conquering.
Well,
Right.
name me some great female.
She's going with the off point. He got her so off topic. Now she's like, well, wait a minute. Women have been toxic too.
warriors that have dominated the planet.
Well, I mean, I'm learning new education here, which is only men conquer.
No,
I mean, that's what you're telling me, right?
She's being smart, and that's not what the thing you should be attacking. The thing you should be attacking is that linear thinking that that's all men, or that's a general assumption about men, is that that men are not interested in fairness and emotions and heart. She should be attacking that and telling him, like, I find that not to be true, and that's what's going to get me a more high-level man than just thinking in this linear perspective, like man conquers woman, woman submits,
Right?
no. Well, see, what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to switch that. I'm asking about fairness, and I said about fairness. Why is fairness
This
so
is the
important? You said
argument I
because
would
you're
make.
half a man.
Because if you expect something,
They don't ever attack him where he needs to be attacked. He just, and unfortunately he's not here anymore. And not that we're trying to attack him, but they never come back with something like, he's just a bully. He was just a bully.
me, I should be allowed to expect the same of you. And if you can't offer me
Right.
that, you don't
Right.
deserve to be in my life.
But that has nothing to do with
That's
fair-
a great fucking point. Yes, it does have to do with fairness, because you're matching values. I value fairness. If you don't, then peace off.
Fairness.
It has everything to do with fairness.
No,
Yeah,
fairness
it does.
means you get an opportunity.
He's
Fairness
such a
doesn't mean you get an
mansplainer.
outcome.
Holy man, he's killed. Even the
You
dudes
get an
are like,
interview, you're not
yo.
guaranteed a job.
No, you're not. But I work very, very hard to ensure that I keep it.
Well, if that's the case, you
No.
should. If that's the case,
That fairness in a job would just say that there's rules and regulations to go by. Like, you can't sleep with someone to get ahead, even though that happens. You can't punish someone and not give them a schedule because you don't like them. That happens. You can't tell people they can't wear certain things at their job, even though even though that happens. Fairness is built into our system. Like, to say this guy is like, not about fairness, we're just gonna conquer everything, and then she's arguing with him about these moot points that he's making. It's just, it sucks, man, because I wish there was, she could be stronger in this sense.
Right?
if that's the case, you should be able to secure the things you want, so you should have no problem.
Obviously not. Not when men are out here believing like you don't have to be fair.
Right.
Well, those two things can't exist in the same place.
Men haven't even been part of human history. It's just men, and all we care about is conquer.
Well, no. You just said you work very hard, so you should get the outcomes. See, if hard work was all that required, then we would almost be guaranteed. Hard work gets you a ticket to the dance. It doesn't guarantee you the top spot. How many? Who lost the Super Bowl, guys?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Can you say they worked hard this year?
Very hard.
Number
What
two.
What an idiot.
Men don't worry about fairness. We worry about winning.
There's rules to the game, so that becomes the fairness. And she's talking about, like, I got standards and I'm gonna set my boundaries to, I expect fairness. So it's not gonna be about you conquering me, or I'm gonna overstep boundaries to get what I want. That's these conversations are not being had. This is a this and that conversation versus no. We're gonna come to an understanding, not an agreement, because not everybody's gonna agree, but you come to an understanding in a what is the word? Not agreement. I'll think of it. Hold on.
And to the victor go the spoils. Just like, you know what? How many times
Quotes.
you've gotten to a club into VIP for free when some ugly chicks had to pay full price?
Whoa.
Is that my fault?
No. I've asked how many times it happened before you go down that path.
I mean, plenty of times in Miami.
Exactly, but that's not fair, is it?
Well, please don't forget I'm not from here.
But that's
so-
not the point, ma'am. That's not fair, is it?
He's got her
I also don't
arguing
care
about
about those
dumb
things.
shit.
But so you only care about fairness when it doesn't benefit you.
Yeah, I see what
I
you're
just
saying.
don't go to
Yeah,
clubs
yeah.
that often.
Just
But that's not-
don't argue the personality of it. You're personalizing. You're arguing the personalized part of it. Oh, I don't do that. Doesn't matter. You just be aware that it happens, and that, yes, that's also a thing. There's rules to the game, and men and women are going to follow their set of rules, and if you agree on the rules, then you play that game. If you don't agree on the rules, then it's not fair. That's all. That's how I would have responded to that. But again, I think she's coming from a different place. She's being attacked, which he is definitely fucking attacking her. And they got nothing to say. They don't even want to back this chick up, because they're just like, I can't believe I'm in a room full of these dudes, and they bring us on just to belittle us, you know?
Not the point. I asked you, how many times you've gone to a club where you got in for free, where ugly chicks or less attractive chicks had to pay? And you know
Less
that's happened.
attractive
You didn't
chicks.
say, I'm still...
Who's attractive to who? Like, if a bouncer finds one girl attractive and not another girl attractive, that's subjective. Again, she's getting in because the bouncer feels like, hey, I want to let her in because she's pretty to me, or the club owner feels like he wants to have some pretty girls in the place. It's subjective to what he thinks. What you find attractive might not be what I find attractive, and it's not just physical features. Attraction is just you could just be connected to somebody for some reason. They just got this great aura or energy or personality about them. And this is what Kevin Samuels and these guys don't understand, is that, like, men don't feel those things. We are robots. We think like that. I don't believe that shit. That's just crazy, man. I would love to be a part of these conversations.
Excuse me, sir. Even though I'm attractive, I demand that you charge me full price. That's fair, right?
There's a space to
Okay,
do that.
so because
Is that
I
fair?
into places and get
Is that fair?
that means
There is space for that to happen, though. A woman could say, no, it's okay, I'll pay to get in. And that's how you take your power back. But you could also play the game, and then you got to understand, once you get in, you got in for free. So you better, just act accordingly. Don't be starting to fight. Don't be talking shit. You got in for free. You know what I mean? Let's just act accordingly. If I got into a place and they respected me for getting in, I would just be cool. And I'm not saying she does. I have no idea who this girl is. But, I'm saying, like, that's the game you're playing. And some women play a high-level game where they're using men to do this, and that's the rules of the man. Like, he thinks like this. So, like, I would not encourage women to do that, but that's what some people do, and men play that game, and that's, both parties are in consent, right?
that I should
Is
get.
that fair? Before we go there, I'll answer your question if you at least answer mine. Is that fair?
Life isn't fair.
Well, if that's the case, you accept it in the sexual marketplace too.
It doesn't mean I have to accept other people's
No.
bullshit.
Well, see, the thing is, ma'am, what you've proven,
Other
like
people
many
play that game, I don't
feminists
play
and
that
many
game.
women,
Let's get
you're
right
okay
back
with
to
the
it.
double standards that benefit you. But the ones you don't like, you just throw at the wind, use sign language,
That
shame,
happens.
insults, guilt, and the need to be right to deflect and dismiss guys who are normally intimidated by this thing. I'm not. I'm just challenging your position. You're
Highly-
okay with it not being fair when it benefits you.
You're oversimplifying a very complex situation.
Yeah,
No, it's not really
yeah,
complex.
yeah,
There are
yeah,
no such
yeah.
thing as loyal. The concept of a loyal, highly effective, competitive alpha is a female notion.
And have to continue to compete with other pretty girls because men are too simple to stick with one.
Well, how about this? The
Where
kind of
is
men
she
you're talking about
going?
are simple enough to make the light you live in, the air conditioning, all the stuff that you. Hold on, excuse me, ma'am. The simple men built the world that you use.
I built my own world. So
No,
again,
ma'am, you use.
Wow, bro. Kevin Samuels always went like to places that were just unnecessary, dude. Oh my God, he just speaks like the world you live in is built by men, and da da da. And that's what a lot of women are saying, is that like you had a lot of say in the way this world is created. We're trying to take some of that back, and like I get that. So I don't know. This is an interesting conversation. I'm gonna go ahead and I might have this this conversation a little bit later, but I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna do some more like this. If you want to see some more, tag me in something. Share a link on the comments, and I'll go watch it. I appreciate you guys Thanks for hanging out. All right, peace.
Look, the people you are after are the people you depend on.